Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, anyways, I actually took some time at work to write some stuff down on a topic that I really wanted to cover. And I want to kind of call it something along the lines of is there actually a plan to stop or to save the United States from the globalist one world order agenda? So I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff, and numbered them like 1 through 15 so far. I'm sure there's many more. I have things that I don't like and things that I do like, because there's this kind of thing that's been going around that's like, well, was Trump put in place to make Americans, at least the ones of us that are willing to fight, to keep us calm until they accomplish what they need to accomplish? Kind of like a Trojan horse. Keep telling us, oh, the rest are coming, and the military generals are going to take care of it, and everybody just stay calm, don't do nothing, just sit back and eat the popcorn and watch the movie. Basically, I don't know. I mean, there's some things that I'm going to go over some things right now that I'm thinking of that I don't have written on this list. And one thing is that look at what's happening to our food. So it went from being super poisoned, and now, like, I just ate some of a bag of Lay's potato chips that were that one flavor called all dressed. It's kind of like barbecue mixed with salt and vinegar. Really good. And now a lot of the Lay's potato chips, most of them, and I'm sure they're going to phase them all into this, where there's no artificial flavors or dyes or preservatives or all that stuff. All the food is becoming more healthy than what it was. I don't feel like something like that would happen necessarily if Trump was a Trojan horse. Maybe that's a sacrifice though that they're willing to take, and it's not a big deal to them at this point. They're just more worried about getting what they want. So it could be that. I don't know. That's one thing I was just thinking about. But the first thing I actually have written on the list is Democrats made an ad purposely to try to sway, especially military members and leaders, from following specific orders that Trump might give. That right there tells me that they're scared. They know that there's probably arrests coming, that things are moving in a manner that they know what's coming next, and they're doing everything possible to stop that from happening, even if that means making the military feel like the orders that Trump might give are unconstitutional or that they may be unlawful. Y'all probably seen the ad already. It's got multiple different senators or congressmen, women or whatever that were supposedly ex-military. I'm guessing they are ex-military, that have probably most likely have been bought and were paid to say what what they said. Definitely is a desperate move by the Democrats and deep state. That's number one. Second one is, Trump did write a letter to all those generals, telling them that they needed to appear at that meeting wherever it was, and there was tons and tons of generals there. Some of them got kicked out of the military because they were transgender and whatever else, and upon other things. But in the letter, I do remember the letter being kind of shown. If it was actually the real letter, it might have not been the real letter. I don't know. I'm wanting to believe that it was what I saw. And what I saw basically said something along the lines of, with the goals of restoring America to its original constitutional republic, which would be great. So that's number 2. That's a good thing. Number 3 is another good thing. If it happens, I'm waiting for it to happen. I wanted to believe it's going to happen, that Trump's going to declare an election emergency. I'm not sure if it's going to be because of the stuff going on in Michigan and Minnesota, or if it's going to be something else that's going to get uncovered. And they're going to be like, look, the 2026 midterms are coming up, and they're wanting to cheat. So I don't know. Number 4, this is not a good one. We should be seeing arrests already. None of that stuff is happening the way it should be. Is that Pam Bondi's fault? I don't know. She is a loyalist to the Bush family. I don't know, but I feel like Trump should have knew that ahead of time and not have, gave her the green light. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Kash Patel either. I'm not for sure why Dan Bongino left the FBI either. I'm not sure what's going on with that stuff. But I'm kind of trying to do my best to, paint a picture in order, as orderly as possible in my mind, try to figure out what's going on. Number 5 is a good thing. Florida did, Ron DeSantis did make a ban on digital IDs appearing in the state. Didn't want nothing to do with that. He's also making it so vaccines aren't mandatory. And I like that. That's something I don't feel would be happening or should be happening if, we're meant for destruction and that's all the plans. But, I could be wrong. Also know that everything that Ron DeSantis is doing, is subject to change. Some other person can become governor, and every bit of that stuff that he has done could change within a matter of a year or two, maybe. So we'll just have to see what happens. But I think that's something that is a very good thing. Number 6 is probably the thing that I hate the most, because I've been making a lot of videos mentioning this and focused on this, on this channel recently, is digital ID. They have rolled out digital ID. Just was rolled out recently at the end of December. And I forget what it's going to be called. It's going to be called like Alaska, Wallet or Alaska Mobile ID or something like that. And it's a digital ID. It's not mandatory. It is optional. But it is, a step towards something that would be definitely, at some point probably mandatory. Alaskans, I know that it's a red state. I know that it for the most part, always goes red. It's time to stand up. It's time to say no. Even though it's not mandatory, you need to raise your voices with your concerns and paint and show them. Just throw it back in their faces what they're trying to throw at you, because they know what it is. So, anyways, that was number 6. Not too good. So we have, out of 6, we have 2 bad ones so far. And once again, there's probably a lot more than I could come up with in my 8-hour day at work. This was just randomly writing stuff down to make the video. Number 7 is a good thing. As far as I know. I know they're wanting to bring our banking system down, but if it goes down the way that they say it's going to go down, and we have gold-backed currency again, hopefully they continue to allow us to use paper currency, because I'm not okay with all digital currency, because you don't have control over it, and if the power goes out or the internet goes down, you don't have your money. So just as simple as that. But possible collapse of the big banks due to rise in silver prices, which they've been driving the silver prices down for a while, and some people are even saying that silver should be worth more than gold. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's number 7. Number 8. I got to read my own writing here. Lots of panic moves by the deep state. I'm going to try to name some here. One of them that I saw was that commercial that I just brought up a little while ago. But there's also been, like other things that I wish that I could just specifically name off the top of my head that I do remember, but I don't remember, if you know what I'm saying. And there's just so much going on. But they're just doing stuff and showing their hand in ways that, they shouldn't be doing, if they want to succeed with what they're doing. Too many people are waking up because people are seeing it. And so that's a good thing. So far out of 8 things that I could think of, there's only 2 of them that could be bad. Well, one of them is definitely bad, which is the rollout of digital ID, and the fact of why we aren't seeing arrests. That could just be because it isn't time for us to see that yet. Maybe they're trying to do it all at once. I don't know. Like I said, y'all, I'm hoping that this whole thing isn't just something to keep us calm until it's too late. But we'll just have to see what happens. All we can do is pray and do our best to educate ourselves on what's going on and to pay attention. And, like I said, write letters to your congressmen, senators, state representatives, governor, office of the vice president, and office of the president of the United States. Okay, so number 9 is a recent release of information on fraud and terrorist cells in Minnesota and Michigan. That is huge, but we'll have to really just keep following it to see what happens. I feel like that's not something that should be uncovered and allowed for us to see if Trump is, just in there to help keep us calm until it's too late. You know what I mean? All right, number 10. Trump withdraws from the U.S. from the WHO pandemic treaty. Freaking amazing. So hopefully that he stirs up a lot more stuff with the WHO and WEF and all that stuff. I want them destroyed. I really do. I know that RFK Jr. has on multiple different occasions said that he wants to take them down. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully he gets to play a big part in doing it. Number 11, Trump says Christianity is coming back to the United States. Amazing. Nobody ever wants to give credit to God. Everybody wants to push that aside and try to make it illegal to pray in public, just like they're doing in Britain and in Canada. That stuff needs to stop, and it seems like Trump is wanting to be a representative of Christ, which is great. I don't feel like that's something that would be happening if he was, trying to keep us calm, but at the same time, you would want to make this all seem as good as possible until it's too late. So we'll just have to see. They just could be playing a really good game. I really hope not. I hope that the Christian prophets are right, the people that declare themselves as prophets. We'll just have to see. I don't know. Number 12, I have this one as not very good. So this would be number 3 bad things out of 12. Trump seems to be very friendly with people like Bill Gates and the Obamas and the New York Mayor Mamdani and Mark Zuckerberg and many others. Whenever those are people that I know that he should obviously know that are for depopulation, like, basically killing a bunch of us and doing things to turn us into just basically ruining us and making us slaves. If he's for freedom, these are people that he shouldn't be acting even the slightest amount friendly towards, and he should be open with us about why he's not friendly about them. So we'll just have to see. Maybe he's just being cordial, being a gentleman. I don't know, but I feel like people that are guilty of treason don't deserve that courtesy. So we'll see. Number 13 could be good or bad. Because, like I said before in another video, that Trump wanting to make us a leader in AI here could be to derail more dangerous AIs coming from other countries. I don't know. But I just don't agree with it. AI in general, don't know where it comes from. Don't know where if it's open to persuasion or if it has a mind of its own. It's just not something that I'm comfortable with. And like I said in another video, ChatGPT and OpenAI has been trying to get, talking children into harming themselves. And I don't like that. So, I don't know. That 13 could be good or bad. Kind of just like number 4. It could be a good thing that we're not seeing the arrest yet. I don't know. So, for sure, so far, 2 bad things. Number 14, another bad thing. Trump isn't saying anything about digital ID coming to the U.S. I feel like this is something that he should be very outspoken about, and if basically saying what RFK is saying, hey, if y'all want to keep your freedom, you have to say no to this, but he could go further than that and completely demolish the idea. If we end up getting into a state of emergency, which would be like martial law, maybe he'll do something about it. I really hope he does. And the last thing, number 15, no matter what, this isn't necessarily a point, but it is a point. No matter what happens, let's see what I actually wrote down so I could actually read it to you. Yep, there'll be many more things that happen, but no matter what, we just can't give up. We have to continue to fight. We have to continue to, talk to each other about what's going on. I message this stuff to my friends, even though I'm barely getting any views on here. I'm getting 1 or 2, 3 or 4. So I'm hoping one of the people that sees it can share it, and it would make a difference. And maybe a person will see it that, can do more than I can do about it. Like I said in other videos, when I started this channel, it was about making content that I could eventually make money off of, and basically that way I could have an enjoyable job. At this point, I basically burnt my bridges with YouTube, and I'm terribly censored. That's why I'm barely getting any views. But I'm hoping that it's good enough that somebody sees one of my videos that can share it, and I can hopefully make a difference. I just really don't want to see this country go down like this at all, or I don't want to see it go down at all. You know, I love this country. I love my Savior. And I love our way of life. I love freedom. And that's why I'm here. I don't care if I ever make $1 off of this. You know, I would really like to have be able to construct myself a podcasting studio. That way I'm not filming a flag laying on the ground in my basement while I talk. But it is what it is right now. I'm just hoping that I can be of service to my country in some way by doing this, because I can't think of anything else to do. So anyway, y'all, if you have like comments, what do you think? Like, what do you think about Trump? Like, obviously, I know if you're a Democrat or a leftist person, whatever, that you don't care, you hate the orange man. But if you're a conservative, like, have you had second thought, not necessarily second thoughts about him, but, you know, mixed feelings at this point, whether or not, like, what his intentions are, or are you completely sold and like, yes, he's, you know, I trust what's going on. I know that something's good going to come out of this. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. And also, I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll see you next time.